Hoi! We're at the piano. It's like almost 5 in the morning. I just about regularly get up at 3. Sometimes earlier. But anyway, we're at the piano. I'm still trying to, get back what I lost to some degree so I can at least have more fun with the piano. And see, that's the thing. You're supposed to just have fun with the piano. I'm looking at these exercises yet again in that book. I'm still at the beginning. It takes a while to get good at an instrument, doesn't it? Anyway. As long as I don't suddenly get a frog in my throat, which I could feel it happening. What we're going to do is we're going to use a metronome. And we're going to play through these exercises. I had to do a bunch of therapy. How do I reset that? Huh. Okay, so I had to do a bunch of therapy last night because I noticed a particular thing of when I make mistakes, and I had to get those issues addressed. Because when I played, I was way too focused on the consequences of making a mistake. Now, a metronome's good because it trains you into being consistent with your tempo. Without it, you could slow down, you could speed up, you would get a little bit all over the place. I'm not very consistent. And you know what? It's a great tool. It helps you to focus. If you're like me and your brain's constantly just squirreling around and getting distracted by things, this could help focus it. And what you want for your metronome is to sound like it's playing with you and not against you. So when you barely notice it sticking out, that's when you're on the beat. When you start hearing it stick out a little before, a little after you hit a note, that's when you're not quite in sync with it. It has to be flush with your music. Other than that, that's not... I don't have very much else to say unless you want to hear me talk about what therapy was like. So, anyway... Last night was an interesting experiment. So I decided to do something at the piano. And I was looking at exercise number 7. And I was doing exercise number 7 because I wanted to really challenge myself to play with a metronome and to really just, I don't know, to work through any issues that came up. And there were some interesting things that I noticed. So, I'm a very spiritual person, and I believe in God, the universe, the creator, whatever name people choose to use. I believe in him. So for therapy, yesterday, the 7th, exercise number 7. That was pretty deliberate. I'm practicing, and I'm playing these notes. So here's what the exercise sounds like. And you can hear that I kind of lost it a little bit in the second to the last measure, but that exercise for November the 7th, which is yesterday, the 7th exercise for the 7th day of the 11th month, the Lord has put me to the challenge of being able to find the cause of my mistakes. Now, here's what happened. I tried it with the metronome. So I turn the metronome on. I start the music. I work my way up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 7th measure, going into the 8th, I start flubbing it up very consistently, like almost in the same place every time. The 7th and the 8th measures, I'm constantly just flubbing it up. And I noticed a thing where if I have no control over what my body's doing, that's because there's a lesson involved. So this finger here kept twitching, like weirdly. It just kept wiggling in like weird ways. And it made me react. And I'll describe the feeling that I got. It's like the way it happened. I stood there. Well, I sat there because clearly I'm sitting right now. I sat there and I just was anticipating the consequences of making that mistake. Every time it happened, I like tensed up thinking something was going to happen. Now, for those of you that haven't figured it out yet, I had a past life as the German composer Ludwig van Beethoven, and my dad, his name was Johann, and Johann was a very mean person, like greedy. It was always about greed with that guy. So, because I recognized another incarnation he had where he struggled with the same things, and it was greed. So when a person gets greedy and they think that they could make money off of their kid or off of, just hoarding things, just getting wealth in such an egregious way, it causes problems. So every time I flubbed up measures 7 and 8, I was anticipating that I was gonna get physically beaten for it. It was the strangest thing. But looking back at it, okay, so has anyone seen the movie Immortal Beloved? Actor Gary Oldman plays Beethoven. So there was a scene in there where a concert doesn't go very well. There's been some mistakes made, and So at home behind closed doors, the father just starts beating on the kid. That happened. Like, that kind of thing happened. If I made a mistake in public, I was definitely going to pay for it when I got home. One of the things I never wanted to do was go back home. so, so as I was sitting here and just constantly thinking that I'm going to get whacked for making a mistake in measure 7 to 8, because that's the turnaround. You're going back down. I just started getting teary-eyed because I got to thinking, like, man, you know what? How scared was I as a child of a guy who was bigger than me? Because, 4-year-olds are small. Like, 4-year-olds are tiny children. And so you got an adult behind this 4-year-old that's threatening physical abuse for one little mistake. That is nerve-wracking. But hey, I got to thinking, what if that was the cause of my stage fright? Just the notion that, oh, he's going to be listening, and if I go home, I'm going to get a walloping. I just thought it was an interesting thing, but it took a little while. So, like, I went through exercise number 7, the one that I just played, and I went through it with a metronome, and I noticed that when I started finding the causes of my issues, the playing mistakes started going away. It's not always about rote repetition. It's not about having the formula that fits all. It's about knowing the cause. If you can know the cause of why you're making mistakes, why you're misreading something, why you get turned around, why you turn left instead of turn right, you start looking at why you did something. So how did you do something? How did you feel about it? Why did you do it? Why are you feeling that way about it? You start investigating these things. And when you investigate matters of like music and say, oh, I hate playing on stage, but why do you hate playing on stage? Like, just play something in, like you're playing in front of somebody, and then just look at it and say, why did I do that? And people should not be walking around with trauma. They absolutely should not. So I noticed that exercise 7 has gotten better just because I found the sources of my trauma. It's like, my dad was a jerk, and I'm fine not having any contact with him. I'm fine. There was just too much pain there anyway, and it wasn't like he was going to apologize or anything. So, that apology will never come. And so it's, not going to be something that weighs on me. Unlike how it did in that other life where everything weighed on me. Oh man, people could look at me and they would see a smiling face, but behind the smile, behind the surface, I was barely holding it together, and people just didn't realize how good I was at just like pretending like nothing is wrong, nothing is amiss. But yeah, like some of the health issues that I had in that life was because of the constant anxiety and stress. Like, I grew up with that. I grew up with it beaten into me. Like, so it became my everyday. Like, I had tightness in my jaw, tightness in my shoulders, and then all of the anxiety and stress would settle in my lower extremities. And when your energy is not healthy, it causes problems. One of the first problems that I started having was a bad gallbladder. And it made eating a lot of different foods uncomfortable. You know, and then I had some digestive issues coming up through here too, so like it just wasn't good. And then I was also a person of habit, so like if I started a habit, you know, like socially, like drinking, I kind of just kept going with it, and I lose track of how much I get into. I always knew I had a sensitive body. I was better suited to everything that was inbound because my gut environment was already geared towards handling food in that area, even though I had some issues still with digestion, which a bunch of it was due to anxiety and stress. But when I moved to Vienna, that obliterated me. My health started on a decline right there. Because even though I liked being somewhere that could help me get my name out there, it was stressful. I always did better out in the countryside. And that's because I'm a cherub. And if people don't know what a cherub is, it's an angel. And according to Alora, my friend, we do often appear as orbs of light with a face in the middle, and we usually have 4 wings. You know, 2 spreading out. You know, usually that's how we appear. Just, and so it's like, okay, nature does me good. Being in a city, very detrimental to my health. If I went to New York City, I'm going to be dead before the year. Because that energy there just erodes away at me way too quickly. One, I can't breathe. I got allergies. The moment I go there, I can't get any air through my nose. Constantly mouth breathing. And it's like, I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to feel like I'm dying every day. And then I don't want to feel like I'm going to be sick every day. It's just like, it's better here because it's not packed like the city. But I have the hankering of going out into a little more spacious area because there's too many people around this area. It's like, I like having enough people, but not too many people, because I do like having my own privacy, having my own little nook. But yeah, it's important to really get to know your soul type. But anyway, this is going to be the conclusion of my video. I'm still working on, you know, this stuff, and I'm still, you know, trying to figure out what it is that I could learn from that life, because the Lord in heaven, the Heavenly Father, does want me to make music. But He also wants me to be sure that I remain humble when I get my skills coming back to me. Because the mistake I made in that past was I was prideful at times. I was arrogant at times. I was very controlling. Like, I had control issues, and it was because of my upbringing. But a lot of it was just a reflection of what I went through, my inability to cope with what I went through, and my tendency to overcompensate by acting like I had this hard exterior, by frowning a lot, because I did a lot of that again in this life, where I just carried this kind of a like a resting bee face all the time. And what people don't realize about Ludwig, you know, was that he's just a baby. It's like, yeah, I had like a robust temperament. I was resilient. I knew how to persevere. I could push myself. But look at me. Look at me. And just imagine me as Ludwig. Just, it's a different body. Same person. I'm just a baby. Like, I don't want to be hurt by anybody. I don't want to be dragged through the mud. I don't want people using me, abusing me, trying to take money from me just because, life is going good. Or it's like, I'm just a sweet little being. Like, I want to keep existing in a happy place and hope that more people can find that happy place, because this world's real miserable. Like, there's so many people finding any reason to just fight against each other, and it's ridiculous. Somebody said that it's like the movie Idiocracy, where everything's just getting dumber and dumber, and it's true. It's like, this is the anti-enlightenment. There's no enlightenment happening here, not unless you're on the path that leads you towards God, genuinely, for real, making changes and being a good person, not just pretending, not just acting like, because you didn't act on it, that you're still good. It's like, no, you have to be 100%. Because God knows. He sees what people are not doing and why they're not doing it, and it's like, He knows what people are imagining. He knows what they're thinking. He knows what they're feeling. And He wants me to get back into music. But do it humbly. Be meek. Be virtuous. Be loyal to Him. And to not be tricked by the world, because He showed me, when you start getting stupidly good at this instrument, the wolves are gonna come after you. It's like, well, He showed them as snakes. Like, people are gonna wanna pin me down, is what I was shown. It's like, and it's just the world's way of saying, hey, what about all this glamour? What about all these deals? And it's like, nothing is worth more than our relationship with God. That's the only thing we should be all about, because that helps us be a better person to everyone else. Without good people, this world, I'm starting to lose my voice, this world is screwy. We need good people. We need people doing more good things, as it creates a ripple effect. Time to end this video. I'll see you later.